Hello everybody, pee poo poo Fortnite balls. You may think what I just said is complete gibberish, but in reality it's actually more insightful than modern political discourse. And that's just like what normal people say, right? It gets to a whole new level when we start talking about internet discourse. Many of the frequent visitors of the internet are known as terminally online. People who are terminally online for a reason, mainly because they're fucking stupid and they don't have anything to contribute. So they escape to the internet where they never have to deal with the real world consequences that come with being completely worthless. This dynamic has resulted in a very polarizing political and social climate. When you're an absolute loser who spends all day online, there's realistically only two routes that you can take. Either you're an edgy shitlord who spreads bigoted ideology under the guise of irony, or you're a narcissistic and performative savior of the world, standing up for everyone and everything while also being unpleasant and rude to anyone who doesn't massage your ego. You know, I hate riding the fence on a lot of things, but I think we can all agree that both of these people are massive pieces of shit. And the worst part is that despite these people having no real world impact, they still manage to radicalize other people who are equally worthless and stupid. Speaking of stupid and worthless people, hey you. You should buy my merch, because my merch is so epic. Everyone who watches my videos should buy my merch. This isn't my merch. This is something completely different. And while you're at it, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know. Also, before I get into this video, some of you guys say I have like short king energy. I'm 5'10", all right? I'm not short, I'm just fat. Fuck. Recently, a game called Starfield came out, created by Bethesda Studios, the same people who are responsible for Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Typically, when a AAA title comes out, it's full of bugs, glitches, and complaints. That's the end of that sentence. Now here's a new one. Recently, a clip went viral of a human thumb having an absolute meltdown over the existence of pronouns in the character creation options. And so I've decided for the rest of the video to refer to this person with gender-neutral pronouns. Not for any political reason. I just find it really funny. Anyways, I don't want this video to be too political. It obviously has to be to a certain extent, but I'm gonna be as honest as I possibly can and try to keep the politics out of it. But I do want to say that I am like a left-leaning person. I'm pretty open about this, so consider that as potential bias moving forward. But I also want to remind you, I'm just here for the memes, baby, okay? Like, I just find this shit really funny and I want to talk about it. Anyways, let's check out this epic meltdown.
Bethesda, there is nothing I love more than to sit down, comfy chair, turn on my PC, fire up a brand new RPG, lose myself, think, oh my God, just think of this world, just think of all the planets I can visit, all the immersive things that I can get involved with, all the fights, with all of that laid out in front of me. I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us.
I find it really funny that this balding brainlet starts off the clip by pretty much listing all of the reasons they shouldn't be upset right now. There are so many reasons to not be in a bad mood. I mean, it's a brand new RPG created by Bethesda Studios. It's a space traversal sim with endless possibilities, and you're getting upset over like pronouns being in the game? Pronouns, by the way, have existed since the innovation of the English language. These aren't like a new thing that just came out. This person keeps talking about current day. Pronouns are not current day. They've existed since like 2nd century BC.
Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns!
Apparently, this person feels like they can't get immersed into Starfield because pronouns exist. They must have a pretty hard time living their day-to-day life, considering that they, as well as everyone around them, is consistently using pronouns in basic speech. Which makes a lot of sense. They must have a lot of difficulty in social situations if this person is melting down over something so simple. And it's ironic too, because I could totally imagine the same exact scenario happening in reverse, like some like SJW libtard in Seattle like has a meltdown because there aren't enough pronouns.
Fucking gender ambiguity! Fucking current day Californian shit!
Now, you may not know this, but I am a gamer. Bruh. An epic gamer.
Hell no. Bruh.
I've played a lot of RPG games, okay? And it's actually very common for these games to use gender-neutral pronouns. Gender ambiguity is actually like a very common tool for games with character customization features. It's actually a good thing for them to have these options because if you pick masculine pronouns, you won't be called a they, them. Also, as far as this like California shit, I'm not sure if they know this, but pronouns weren't invented in California. I mean, if there were neo-pronouns in the game, I would understand what you mean by California shit, but even then, if there's one game where it would make sense to have like neo pronouns, It would be this game, an open world RPG that takes place in space in the future. Like, there could be aliens with like different languages and different pronouns. This is the one game where that would actually work. All they have is just he, him, she, her, and gender neutral pronouns. Like, why are you having a meltdown over this? This is the most fucking mundane problem ever.
Because that's all we fucking know! Because we're boring! We're so fucking boring! We can't see past our own fucking reflection! That's the level of our narcissism here at Bethesda Western Game Company!
This person is talking about how people aren't able to see past things, but they got stun-locked by a fucking character customization feature. They didn't even really play the game yet, and they're already having a meltdown because they feel personally slighted. And they're the one talking about narcissism. Like, how fucking ironic is that?
Fuck your immersion! Fuck you having a good time! Fuck you falling into a world and just getting lost! No, no, no! Current fucking day! Fuck off!
Oh my god, if you can't get immersed into a game because of one option in a character customization screen, which doesn't even take up a majority of the game, you are the problem. You are the snowflake. It's not wokeism, it's not current day or whatever the fuck, it's you. You are the problem.
You're fucking dull! You have nothing to say! You are a one-hived mind twat waffle!
You don't have much to say either. And funnily enough, they're a part of a hive mind too. Everything that this person said in this entire clip is not groundbreaking or interesting. They're just saying the same exact thing that I would expect from Aiden Ross's live stream chat. I find it insane too because all of these people that are super like anti-SJW, super anti-woke, they do everything that they despise, just reversed. Like, once again, imagine if some genderqueer, two-spirit, tree gender person had a meltdown because they didn't have tree options in the game. You would think it was ridiculous, and you'd be totally right, because it's not a big deal. It's just a video game, and it's such a small aspect of the game too. I understand that there is a growing frustration with how often like woke ideology is shoehorned into media. I'm not particularly fond of it myself, but I also I just don't care. I actually recently played the new Saints Row game for my live stream because I may or may not be making a video about it in the future, and I had tons of negative things to say about that game, including how hard it forces all of the woke shit. And Saints Row is one of my favorite game franchises. I grew up on it, and I didn't even have a meltdown like this guy is having. Like, you need help. This is like a bipolar outburst. This is not normal for you to react so harshly to something so simple. Anyways, of course this clip blew up. It's fucking ridiculous. Mainly because people are just making fun of the thumb and laughing at them. And that's mainly because it's the horseshoe theory personified. It's the modern age of the SJW, the triggered snowflake, that person screaming at the sky because fucking Donald Trump got elected. And to be honest, at the very least, I think you can rationalize having a meltdown over the president being elected over a fucking video game. Not even a video game. One fucking aspect of a video game, something that takes like 2 fucking seconds. But of course, this person would respond to all the criticism. Man gets canceled for having opinion on the internet. Canceled? You didn't get canceled? Also, we need to change that title. Anyways, let's watch this.
Man has opinion about video game. Internet goes absolutely nuclear crazy about opinion on video game. Is this actually about opinion on video game?
Right off the bat, this brainlet uses broken English, continuing to reinforce the meme that they just don't understand the language that they've spoken their entire life.
Me personally, after 25 hours or so into the game, I'm struggling. I'll just be completely honest.
They say that they spent 25 hours in the game, so clearly those issues of immersion that they talked about earlier were just non-existent and complete bullshit, and it confirms that they're just being a massive pussy. It's almost like the existence of pronouns is completely inconsequential, not only to the game, but to like anyone's real life experience. They then go on to complain about how you're not allowed to have opinions anymore.
But having an opinion on the internet, well, heaven forbid anyone have one of those.
Which I don't really think is the issue. I mean, clearly these people have opinions, so I don't see why they would have a problem with opinions existing. I think people just think that you're a snowflake. They then play the clip of the stream for context, and then they start addressing some of the criticisms they got. And they start off with a tweet from my favorite special needs streamer, Hassan Piker.
And he says, this weird British guy, oh, yeah, okay, fair enough, losing his mind over selecting pronouns in Starfield is the perfect demonstration for why we must bring back lobotomies.
Now, I like Hassan Piker as much as I like taking my antipsychotic medication, which is not a lot, but this is a relatively agreeable and humorous take from Hassan. It doesn't seem like he's trying to like make any hardline statements, because he's obviously implying how bizarre it is, how angry and upset this person got over such a small thing. But this person's response is so stupid. They essentially, rather than explaining why their reaction is rational, just default to ad hominem attacks.
And if you don't know who this guy is, let me introduce you to him.
So you said America deserved 9/11. Did you mean that?
Yeah.
Look, this clip is a huge optical L for Hassan, and I always celebrate that, but it's completely irrelevant to anything. What does that matter? They also call out Hassan's uncle, Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks, and he shows a clip of like Cenk making a joke about like fucking animals. I'm pretty sure it's a joke. I don't think he actually believes this.
If I were the benevolent dictator of the world, I would legalize reality where you are pleasuring the animal. You see what I'm saying?
But let's pretend he does believe it for a second. Let's pretend that he was actually 100% serious. How does that matter? This clip has nothing to do with Hassan. Hassan did not say any of this. This person brings up the clip solely to be like, oh, Hassan, your family's weird, aren't they? Which kind of shows how hard they're grasping for straws here.
What the hell is wrong with your family, dude?
Rather than explaining their position or articulating their thoughts, they're just like, nuh-uh, I'm not stupid, you're stupid.
So needless to say that I'm pretty okay with having a conflicting opinion to somebody like Hassan.
Oh yeah, that totally makes so much sense. He said something one time that was stupid, and since he disagrees with you now, that must also be stupid. I feel like even a third grader would recognize how fucking bad faith that is. They then talk about this one character here. For context, this character is a clone of a man, but there was a malfunction and she came out as a woman. So this doesn't really qualify as like a trans woman. This is actually like no different from a few different animes I'm aware of, yet they still get upset about it. I think my problem is that we have these people who complain about the media being like too political, yet they seem to shoehorn and conflate everything that they don't like as being some kind of like woke leftist propaganda. You say you can't avoid it, but it's probably because you can't help but see it everywhere. Then they bring up the Act Man, who they call a reaction channel.
Then we have the Act Man, a react channel,
which is a bold-faced lie. It is actually a lie. This is not true at all. He makes more commentary, video essay style content, not reaction content. They then also say this:
getting mad because a person reacted to a game.
Okay, let's pretend for a second that the Act Man is a reaction YouTuber, okay? Like, your argument is there's some kind of irony to a reaction channel not liking someone else's reaction? How can this person confidently say that? That's fucking ridiculous. It's not about the act itself of reacting to something. It's about what you said and how you reacted to it. They also claim that the Act Man was canceled and he was demonetized for it.
This person recently being canceled, having his YouTube channel demonetized/pulled down because he was attacked for having an opinion about something and exercising his right to do so.
The Act Man was demonetized, that is true, but it was for making a joke about doxing YouTube staff on Twitter, which is a TOS violation. He was not demonetized for being canceled. That doesn't fucking happen. He was demonetized because he broke TOS. Also, what are you talking about? The Act Man wasn't canceled. He was falsely striked and targeted by Quantum TV. Pretty much everyone was on his side for that drama. Nobody was trying to cancel him.
Now, he's actually jumping on that bandwagon to attack somebody who is exercising their right to have an opinion. I guess turnaround is fair play, hey? Don't worry about the hypocrisy of it, dude. You do you.
Actually, ironically, the entire drama between Act Man and Quantum TV was him criticizing Quantum TV's criticism of a video game, which is exactly what he's doing right now. The Act Man is actually being very consistent here. Once again, how did this person possibly feel confident saying all of this? They then call Act Man a liar because he said that they were on the verge of crying.
On the verge of crying, we've already had to go into a lie because you want to embellish your inverted commas argument. Shouty man, yes. Ranty man, yes. Angry man, yes. Crying, no. Just say it how it is. If you feel comfortable with his position, why lie?
Once again, Walter White completely fails to understand how the English language works. The Actman is being hyperbolic. He's over-exaggerating. He's making a point about how unnecessarily emotional you are about the subject. He isn't lying, he's just pointing out how much of a snowflake you are.
Starfield lets you pick pronouns at the start of the game and then is never brought up again. Well, if it's never brought up again, why do you even have to pick the pronouns? And you would have a better point of argument here if the game allowed you to skip the pronoun nonsense.
Skip the pronouns? Okay, if you don't pick pronouns, they would just use gender-neutral ones instead. I thought gender ambiguity was the problem here. Do you not want to be able to use male pronouns? Like I just said, using gender-neutral pronouns is kind of the industry standard, right? Giving you the option to not use gender-neutral pronouns should be a good thing. Hey guys, future editing Nate here. So I missed the part of this clip when I was writing the script where this person says that if you pick the male character, you just by default get the male pronouns and vice versa for the female. And I guess under the belief that non-binary identities are bullshit, that would make sense. But even if I grant that to you for the sake of argument, it doesn't change the fact that your entire reaction to such a small detail doesn't matter. You're pretty much pointing out how pointless the detail is. Well, if it's pointless, why freak out about it? Just because you're sick and tired of seeing it? That's really fucking stupid. They continue to ramble for a while. Like, I don't really feel like talking about all of this clip. It's just a bunch of bullshit. But they are able to squeeze out an optical W in their field of L's. Actman called them a hypocrite for saying that boycotting Hogwarts Legacy is stupid. But in reality, they didn't boycott Starfield either. So they aren't really being a hypocrite there. So congratulations, you're shooting 1 for 30 right now. They spend like 3 minutes talking about Volition, believe it or not, the developer of Saints Row. And they bring up Marvel and stuff and about how like, oh, these games failed, these movies failed, and how like pretty much just saying like go woke, go broke. Look, if that's the case, then who gives a fuck? If the woke business model is flimsy, then it will die out. If so many people hate it and it ruins the integrity of the media it's applied to, then it's built to fail. Why are you getting so upset about it? They also say at one point that people are waking up, which I find hilarious considering that's just another way to say that people are going woke.
And they've been doing it for so long now and ramming it down all of our throats that even regular people are beginning to wake up.
Once again, people like this are woke scolds, the triggered snowflakes acting like they're oppressed over minor inconveniences, bitching and moaning over things that they don't need to engage in. It's cringe in 2016 and it's still cringe now, no matter where you lie politically. They ramble on and on, repeating the same stuff that you'd expect and have heard a million times over from these people who complain about wokeism and gender identity, all this stuff.
But I'm more than entitled to express my own opinion.
It's insane how disconnected from reality this person is. It's not the opinion that people are focusing on, it's the irony of the situation. The things that you say in your original clip and this video are very surface level takes against the trans ideology. You haven't said anything interesting. In fact, like in the 16 minutes of this video, you didn't reinforce any of your beliefs. You just used ad hominem attacks on people who criticized you and complained about how woke shit is everywhere. And I guess that justifies you having a fucking meltdown over a couple of words in a video game? It's also being talked about so much because your reaction is ridiculous. You're getting way too upset and emotional when it's at worst a slight annoyance. You live in a first world country. You have the privilege of living in a Western society, something that many people take for granted. Do you realize how lucky you are that this is the shit you get to complain about? Don't just sit there in your gaming chair and screech about gender-neutral pronouns in a fucking video game. Children are starving. Meanwhile, you get to collect your fucking action figures and complain about words. You are a snowflake. You are a woke scold. You are the hypersensitive SJW complaining about shit that just doesn't matter at all. I implore people like this to just open their eyes and realize how socially unaware they are. And open your eyes and realize I don't have short king energy. I am 5'10", okay? Like the video, subscribe for sex, and give me money. Take care, guys.